Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Yutaka Fujieda from Osaka University of Economics. Thank you for giving me a chance to present my study at Korea TESOL, but unfortunately, this time I cannot attend the meeting, and then I cannot present Insight. So I switched to the online platform, but I really appreciate this opportunity. So let me present my study titled Navigating Emotions, English Writing Challenges of Japanese EFL Writers. So my research actually explores the very complicated issues of emotions in language learning, but especially I'd like to focus on the felt sense I explain later. Felt sense of English writing of Japanese EFL writers during their writing in English. So what is my present study? So my study focuses mainly on interpreting the meaning of writing in English, and also interpreting the meaning and the implication of writing in English for college level Japanese EFL writers. And I explore the unspeakable feelings, what is called felt sense, that emerge through the practice of English writing. And I think understanding these emotions can provide valuable insight into language learning strategies and instructional approaches to writing in English in Japanese educational context, as well as a similar educational context. So this research has been funded by JSPS Kakenhi, which is the granting aid from the government for 4 years. So you can see the grant number here. Okay, in my investigation into the emotional experiences of Japanese EFL learners, I'd like to show the significance of the emotions in the area of second language acquisition. Drawing on the foundational studies by like Donis and McIntyre and Gregson. So most researchers emphasize the critical role that emotions play, both positive and negative, in shaping learners' engagement and performance. So some studies examined how emotions like anxiety prevented learners' performance and achievement. On the other hand, some studies explored how positive emotions can enhance engagement and motivations of language learning. So through investigating the previous research on emotions, they focus mainly on a couple points. Let's see, for example, the first one is the writing anxiety and L2 writing quality. So studies confirm that writing anxiety negatively impacts L2 writing quality. So this type of research identified the complex interplay between fear of making mistakes and pressure to communicate in English effectively. And other studies highlighted the adaptive strategies employed by successful L2 writers. So successful writers demonstrated a range of strategies to manage writing related to emotions by receiving feedback or going through some like processes during writing tasks. And then finally, one of writing approaches, genre-based writing instruction, which is very popular now, help to develop the knowledge of various genres and writing skills by reducing writing anxiety. So by examining research on emotions of writing in English, I found the importance of understanding the complexity of L2 learners' emotional experiences and the impact of emotions on the language learning processes. And I found that emotional studies need more alternative research method using qualitative approaches. The reason is that the most previous studies employed the quantitative method. So I think that research and emotional study need to use alternative research method. So this time, my research highlights the feelings about writing in English by exploring the hidden meanings about English writing. So I set up the following research questions. So first one is, what does English writing mean for Japanese EFL writers? And the second question is, what felt sense about English writing do EFL writers express? Okay, so as I conducted this research, I focused on the key term of felt sense. Actually, this term felt sense is created by using gendering to describe the bodily understanding that humans have. So in the context of L2 writing, this felt sense embodies the emotional and intuitive reactions that writers have while writing in English. So this concept gains a clear understanding of the details involved in the writing process. So this is about my study. So in this study, so this study draws on the writing experiences of 10 Japanese EFL students at the college level. So they were at an intermediate level of English. Let's see, English proficiency level with TOEIC scores ranging between 400 to 550. So they had experiences of paragraph writing since they completed the required writing classes. One of them is called written English. And let's see, all the participants had sentence level practice when they were junior high school and high school. And then they started paragraph writing at university. Okay, and then in this study, I employed the thinking at the edge called TAE approach as my methodological tool. This is a philosophical and practical approach developed by Eugene Gendry and Mary Hendricks, 2004. So TAE is not only a research method, but also a way of tapping into unarticulated felt sense that each writer has. So I think using TAE captures the elusive and deeply personal responses to L2 writing. Okay, so this is the detail about the TAE methods. So actually this process is very complicated. So as you can see here, URL. So you can access the URL and then you can choose the multiple languages. So just choose your main language and then you can see the details of TAE approaches in your main language. So anyway, the TAE method consists of several steps, and this method is carefully designed to guide participants from vague inner feeling to articulated insights. So first, participants identify their specific felt sense related to English writing. Then they generate keywords and ultimately craft sentences that express their complex feelings. So this structures process brings to indirect but powerful emotional feelings that influence act of writing in English. Okay, so moving to the methodology, I collected the data through the TAE protocols of a Japanese book, as you can see here, published in 2008, written by Tokumaru, 2008. And also, I did the interview with the 10 participants. So the data provided in this study were the same data I presented at the Korea TESOL conference before, 2019, 22, and last year. Of course, the data included the new data. And then I also follow the thematic analysis to reveal rich insight into the complex emotions of English writing for the participants. Okay, so let me highlight the TAE steps. So as you can see, TAE has 3 parts, as I said before. And then the part 1 is called experiencing. Okay, I'm sorry if it's very confusing. So first step is to identify the specific felt sense that seems meaningful, even if the meaning is not yet clear. And then the participants try to think about some words about English writing, and then they jot down 4 or 5 keywords of the felt sense about English writing. And then finally, they try to make a sentence, what is called my sentence, about English writing with the keywords. So this is the example of my sentence. As you can see that this is the example, only 3 participants. So the words, emotional words, which is highlighted in yellow. And then based on these words, they try to make 1 sentence about English writing, right? So this is the part 1, my sentence. Okay, second part, part 2 explores how learners' emotions intersect with their daily lives, which means comparing the process of English writing to daily activities like doing shopping, cooking, playing sports, studying, something like that. And then this comparison helps participants articulate the complexities and the challenges of writing, and then highlight the emotional parallels between learning and other life experiences. So this is the example of the part 2, and these are excerpts for the participants, worksheet. This is Yoko case. I often felt frustrated during my English writing, like overslept. So she tried to compare English writing to overslept. So the meaning is actually, when Yoko overslept, she tried to desperately. So she tried to do what she should do. So this is kind of like, thinking a lot during her writing in English. And the Koki's case is writing, it's like challenging, like climbing mountains. So as you can see, Koki compares English writing to climbing mountains. The meaning is that, the climbing mountains is of course challenging. So we try to, feels like a giving up climbing mountain, but try to do, going to top of the mountains. So it's like doing a lot of work in the writing tasks. So he needs to learn lots of grammar and expressions to develop English writing skills. Okay, so the last parts need to theorize their felt sense by reflecting on their emotional journey through writing. So this step actually crystallizes their understanding of the role of emotions in English writing and reveals how feelings of English writing are linked to the learning process. So this is the also example of the participants about theorizing the felt sense, which means the meaning of English writing. So this is the example of the Tomoka's case and Ogasa Shinji's case. So this is the, their final thoughts about, well, final meanings about writing in English. Okay, so after data analysis, I tried to find the theme of English writing, through analyzing data. I found 3 major themes. So first one is challenges in articulating thoughts and ideas. And then second theme is the importance of developing writing skills. And the last one is fostering the sense of achievement. Okay, so here is the detail about the first themes, challenges in articulating thoughts and ideas. So as you can see, many students, many participants had a difficulty in expressing themselves in English because the writing style and the expressions, a way of expression is totally different from those of Japanese. So they had a really hard time to translate Japanese into English. So it's kind of like hard to articulate their thoughts and ideas in English. So as you can see, like case writing often makes me confused. Why? Because how to write well, how to express my thoughts clearly. As Eddie's case too, expressing my thoughts in English is this very difficult or hard. So Testo's case, as he said, writing is a puzzle. Why? Because it's very hard to organize their thoughts in English. And then also it's very hard to clarify the meaning of the words. So as you can see, they describe writing as kind of a complex or a puzzle because finding the right place for each thought and choosing the clear words can be confusing. But this struggles comes from the mental effort required to construct sentences and paragraph in English. So I think this process often leads to feelings of confusion and frustrations. However, the second theme showed that English writing is not just about the barriers or like hurdles. The second themes indicate that students notice the importance of developing their writing skills. Let's see, for example, writing in English is both fun and difficult. It's gonna both, positive and negative feelings for me, but helps me expand my words. So that's a case voice. And how about Ami's case? When I write in English again and again, my writing ability will be developed again. So she tried to write a lot, but even though she had a bad experiences, hard experiences of writing English, but finally she thought that her writing ability could be was able to develop. And then also Chika's case, making efforts on writing leads to a success of developing in English. So as is the Chika's case too, she tried practice a lot. And then, when she, finished the writing assignments, so she thought that she could develop the literacy skills, especially writing skills. Okay, the last case, the participants told that English writing fostered the sense of achievement. So this is a very interesting point. Even though some students express negative feelings, but most of the participants felt that kind of achievement or accomplishment. So they reported that completing an essay provided them with a tangible sense of accomplishment. The participants made trial errors, but at the end they felt their achievement of English writing. So let's see, for example, there's very similar opinion Tomoka and Testo's case, and complete essay gives me a sense of achievement. Repeat and trial and error. That's a good point about the fostering a sense of achievement. And then Testo's case too, he tried to trial and error many times, but in the end, I felt a sense of fulfillment of the English writing. So Tomoka's Testo's, very similar experiences. And how about Yoko's case? I felt like irritated, frustrated when I couldn't express myself well. But I have to be patient. But I felt on accomplishment when finished my assignment. So Yoko's too, it's very hard for her to write in English clearly. But when she finished the final assignment or writing tasks, she felt this kind of accomplishment of English writing. Okay, so that's result of the studies. And then, so this is the final section about discussion and implication. So one more time, I conducted the research on emotions of L2 writing, especially the focusing on the felt sense of English writing using TAE approach. And then again, this study, using TAE approach provides a new insight into conducting a research on emotional studies on L2 writing. So this is the case of the one case of qualitative study of emotional research in L2 writing. And then I found that TAE approach helps to deepen an understanding of learners' complex process of language learning, and then also English writing. And then this is the last goal of this ongoing research. So what writing instruction can be appropriate based on the TAE data? So now actually try to collect the data of the TAE the data of English writing using TAE approach. And then after that, I try to think about try to find the teaching approaches or teaching, instructional teaching of English writing based on the TAE data. So that's also one of the challenges for me, but that's the final goal. So I hope I can present this kind of result at this conference in the future. Okay, so that is my presentation. So these are references of my studies. Okay, so that's it, my presentation. Thank you very much for your participation, and thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions or comments, especially like critiques or criticism, of course, that's really appreciated. So if you have any question or comment, please access my email address. So this is my new email address, so you can contact me if you have any questions. One more time, thanks so much for your participation.